Okay, boys and girls, today we have Big Anthony, his story, and it's by our author of the month, Tommy DePaula, and we're going to find out how Big Anthony came to be in Strega-Nona's life and how he came to that story of the first one that we read, Strega-Nona. We already found out how Strega-Nona came to be Strega-Nona. Now let's find out how Big Anthony came to be. It was a beautiful sunny day on a farm in the northern hills of the country we now know as Italy. Everything was set for a big feast. The whole family was gathered at the door of the farmhouse. "Here comes the Bambolona," Zia Rosetta, the aunt, called out. The godparents, carrying a fine baby boy, walked out, followed by a beaming mama and a proud papa. "On to the church," the godfather announced. "This will be the happiest of days. This is the firstborn, and he will do great things." "After all," said Nonna Emilio, the grandfather, "children are our future." Everyone crowded into the church for the christening. The godparents held the baby as everyone gathered around. The baby was fast asleep. Mama whispered softly, "Wake up, my son, and listen to Padre Marcello." The priest started to pour the holy water as he declared, "Henceforth you shall be known as Anthony." Just then, baby Anthony, who was still asleep, threw up his arms, spilling the holy water all over himself and everyone else. "Look, baby Anthony didn't even cry or wake up when he got all wet," Zia Rosetta whispered to Nonna Grasilia, his grandmother. "What a good bambino." Nonna Grasilia said as she watched everyone drying off. "I don't know." On little Anthony's first birthday, there was a feast of all feasts. In the shade of the olive tree, the family and friends sat at tables piled high with food. On a separate table was the birthday cake. Papa stood to give a birthday greeting. "Sit quietly, my son, and listen to Papa," Mama whispered to little Anthony. Papa began to make a speech. It was a long speech. "And now," Papa said, "Feliz cumpleaños, happy birthday to my little son." But little Anthony was nowhere to be seen. Can you see where little Anthony is? Look over there. What do you think he's gonna do? Suddenly, there was a loud crash. Everyone looked around, and there was little Anthony covered in cake. Little Anthony began to grow. "He's going to be a big boy," Nonna Emilio said. "He takes after my side of the family." Soon it was time for little Anthony to learn to drink out of a cup. Nonna Grasilia was going to teach him. "Hold your cup in both hands." Anthony did. "Lift it up." And Anthony did. "Now drink." Just then, a bird flew by. Looks like Anthony's distracted, right? What do you think's gonna happen? "He doesn't pay attention," Nonna Grasilia said. "That's the trouble." And Nonna Grasilia was right. Can you see what happened to him? He spilled milk all over the place. He got distracted by that bird. Every year, little Anthony grew taller. Soon, he was big enough to help out on the farm. "Here's a basket, Anthony. Go to the garden and pick the lettuce the way I showed you. Then bring it to me in the kitchen," Mama told him. "See, Mama," Anthony said. And Anthony did. Look, he picked it. Everything she said. But what happened here? He got distracted by the bees, and now the goat's eating all of the lettuce, right? So this is an example of a show and not tell. Tommy loves to draw a lot of pictures where he has like first this happened, then this happened, then this happened, like a comic strip. And he won't always put descriptions in each box of what's going on. So you have to make sure you pay attention to the words in these stories and the pictures. Anthony, Mama said. Now Anthony was old enough to go to school. Anthony loved school, but the teacher kept on saying, Anthony, pay attention. Please pay attention. Because Anthony was the tallest boy in the class, the teacher asked him to stay after school one day and help tidy up the schoolroom. Anthony, would you please put all these books up on that shelf? We'll put the other things away when I get back. Are you paying attention to me, Anthony? Oh, si, professore, up on the shelf. So Anthony did. There's another show and not tell. Did he say, please put everything on the shelf? No, Anthony was not listening. Oh, as Anthony grew older and taller, he was needed on the farm. Anthony, Nona Grasilia said, take the lunches down to the field where the men are haying. And Nona Grasilia added, be sure to find a shady spot to put them so they don't get in the hot sun. See, Nona, Anthony said. Anthony looked around. There were no trees in the field. I know, he said to himself. I'll put the lunches under that haystack. They'll stay nice and cool there, and I'll just take a nap until it's time to eat. So Anthony did. Now remember, he was going to give these lunches to the men that were haying in the field, right? Hay means that they're making these hay piles here to take. He takes his lunches, puts them under there, takes a nap. Anthony, Nona Emilio called. Wake up. Where is the food? We're hungry. Anthony smiled a big smile. I did just what Nona Grasilia said. I put the lunches where they would stay nice and cool. I put them under a haystack. I'll go get them right away. Uh-oh. There's another show and not tell, right? What's happening in this picture? The men made all of these haystacks, and now Anthony has no idea where in the world the lunches are. Oh, big Anthony. Now Anthony was the tallest one in his whole family. It's from my side, Nona Emilio said. Everyone began to call him Big Anthony. Big Anthony, Mama said one day, go find your papa. The pasta is ready. See, Mama, Big Anthony said and rushed out. And Anthony, don't leave any of the gates open. Did you hear me? See, Mama, Big Anthony shouted, gates open. And Big Anthony did. She said, don't leave the gates open, not leave them open. Oh, look what happened. All the animals got out. He left every single gate open. That's it, Papa said. It's time for Big Anthony to go out into the world and earn his fortune. Before he ruins ours, Nona Grasilia said. Arrivederci, Big Anthony. Good luck, the family called as Anthony set out on his journey. Down the highways and byways, Big Anthony strode south, whistling a happy tune. The whole world was ahead of him. How excited he was. He walked and walked until the sun set. He arrived at a town called Pisa. It was too dark to go any farther, so Big Anthony found a wall to sit against. He opened his sack and ate his supper. Before he knew it, he fell fast asleep. The birds woke him at dawn. He stood up, stretched, and opened his eyes. What he saw shocked him. I must have leaned too hard against the wall, he said to himself, but I can fix it. And he rushed away before anyone was awake. Because he always makes so many mistakes, he thought he made this tower lean. This is actually a very famous tower called the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and it's famous because it leans special like that. So Big Anthony goes and he fixes this amazing tower that people travel all around the world to see, so it would stand up straight. The people are not happy. It says, off he went down the road, pleased that he had fixed the tower. But did he really fix the tower? Soon he came to a place that was filled with art. So Big Anthony got a job with an artist. Now Anthony, the first thing I want you to do is to make the paints. See these colored powders? Mix each one with water and put them in jars. Do you understand? See, Maestro, Big Anthony said. Let's see, Big Anthony said to himself after the artist had left the room. I have to mix all these colors with water and put them in jars. So Big Anthony did. Can you tell what Big Anthony did wrong? What did the artist want him to do? To put some water in the blue and mix it up. Water in the green, mix it up. Instead, what did he do? He mixed all the colors in the pot and then water, and everything is now brown. Is the artist gonna like that? You've ruined my paints, the artist shouted. You're fired. So Big Anthony traveled on until he reached Roma. Big Anthony had never seen such beautiful buildings and so many churches. Soon he came to a toll bridge that crossed the river that ran through the middle of the city. 2 coins, please, the man at the bridge told him. I have no money, Big Anthony said, but I'm here to get a job. If you let me cross, I promise to come back and pay you. Well, you're in luck. I need a helper. Would you like the job? The man asked. Oh, si, signore, answered Big Anthony, looking around. You must collect a toll of 2 coins, the man said, but not from the cardinal. Are you paying attention? So the cardinal is a man from the church that wears all red like this. All day, Big Anthony let everyone go across the bridge for free. Is that what he was supposed to do? No, everyone's supposed to pay 2 coins. Then up to the bridge came a long line of altar boys and priests, followed by the cardinal. Big Anthony let everyone cross without paying, but once the cardinal came up, Big Anthony shouted, Halt! 2 coins to cross. But I am the cardinal. Sorry, cardinal, but you must pay. Everyone else can cross for free, but you must pay. My boss said so. Is that what his boss said, boys and girls? No, he's supposed, and he does not look happy. You think Anthony's gonna keep his job? I don't think so. I think he already got fired again. So Big Anthony left Roma and headed south until he arrived at Napoli. Luck was with him. No sooner had he walked into the city than Big Anthony got a job as a waiter. Be sure to pay attention to the orders so you give the right food to the right customer, the owner of the restaurant told him. But Big Anthony didn't pay attention. Can you imagine Big Anthony as a waiter? He gets everything so mixed up, right? Let's see how he does. I didn't order the eels. I hate eels. Where's my pizza? Waiter, you gave me soup. I ordered pasta. Out, the owner shouted. Everywhere he goes, he causes trouble or gets confused, doesn't he? Just as Big Anthony left the restaurant, Mount Vesuvius, the volcano, erupted. Well, Big Anthony said, at least that's not my fault. Big Anthony headed south again until he came to the part of a country called Calabria. He walked down a hill and came to a little village. There in the town square was a sign. Someone needed a helper, someone who lived in a little house up on the hill. Big Anthony climbed the hill to the little house and knocked on the door. Does this look familiar, this sign and this little house right here? Who is going to answer the door, boys and girls? The rest is history. And there's Strega-Nona. And we know the rest of the story because we read the first story, right? So that's it for our how they came to be. We know about how Strega-Nona came to be, and we know how Big Anthony came to be. And so now we're going to read some adventures about them together. And there's one more character we're going to add that we're going to meet in our next story. So I will wait until then. See you later.